I'm Meredith with XT, and today I'm here talking with John about his 2014 JKU. Thank you so much for joining with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So I kind of want to give a brief overview of your setup and what you're working with day to day. So again, you have the 2014 JK Wrangler Unlimited. You have the 17x9 Mammoth 8 steel black wheels with a -6mm offset. You have 285/70 R17 Nitto Ridge Grappler all-terrain tires, which is equivalent to a 33x11, and then you're working with the stock suspension. Now, can you tell me a little bit about why you chose this combination and this setup in particular?
Sure. So this Jeep was my first Jeep I ever purchased. And of course, I wanted to make it my own. But also respecting the fact that I don't know a lot. I'm not very mechanically savvy, right? So I did want to at least get an aggressive look, right? Without making too many modifications to the Jeep.
Now, what do you use your Jeep for? Do you mainly drive on-road? Is it off-road? Is it like a weekend warrior, a daily driver? What do you use the Jeep for?
Yeah, so it's our family's only vehicle. So it is our daily driver to and from work and to take the family around. And then on weekends, we do get to explore some. And so we're not shy about getting out into the hills or anything like that. But it is our daily and only family vehicle.
Well, let's hop into some of the specifics, shall we? So let's start with the wheels. So again, just as a reminder for everybody watching at home, you have the 17x9-inch Mammoth 8 steel black wheels with a -6mm offset. Now, why did you choose this wheel?
Sure. I mean, looking at different Jeep forums, I had an idea of what offset to kind of look for and back spacing, and that wheel fit that specifically, right? And I was shopping around for different wheels, ended up with that one, mainly because of availability at the moment when I was shopping. Mind you, I got this set up during COVID, but ultimately very happy with it because it had the color I was looking for, right? I have a black Jeep, so I wanted the black wheels to go with it. And with the 17 inches, I wanted, something that's kind of stock, but and that shows plenty of tire. And I chose the 9 inches width because I wanted to also have the flexibility if down the road, I want to beef up even bigger, maybe to say 35 by 1250, that wheel would still work.
Can you tell me a little bit more about why you chose steel in particular as the wheel?
The steel wheels have held up just fine. I was half, or a little worried, not even half, but just a little worried from reviews online about the weight or even the durability with like maybe rusting and things like that. But I've had them now for a few years and they've held up very well. And so no complaints, very happy.
So I kind of want to talk about the stance that you have because you do have an aggressive stance. So with the 9 inches of width paired with the -6mm of offset, again, it gives the Jeep an aggressive stance. Why did you choose that stance in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I love the look, right? So with that setup, I think I'm sticking out of the fender about 3 inches. And so for me, that's just like the perfect sweet spot for my taste. Because as I mentioned earlier, I don't have any lift, right? I like personally that low center of gravity, and with the fenders and the wheels getting close to each other, but they stick out.
So sticking with the wheels, how do you like this stance versus the stock stance where they were kind of inside that fender?
Yeah, so for me, it's night and day. Personal preference, I can't stand the stock wheel and rim setup. I don't know, I feel like there's so much empty space underneath, which is for me is,
Now, are you happy with the sidewall size with the 17-inch wheel and the 33-inch tires?
Right now, I mean, with the setup I have, I think it's perfect. Just the right amount of sidewall, and especially with things I've done to the Jeep, I'm surprised I haven't popped or ripped the tire already. The tires have held up great, and I haven't scratched up the wheels either. Right now, it's a good setup.
For everybody watching, you have the 285/70 R17 Nitto Ridge Grappler all-terrain tires, which is equivalent to a 33x11. Why did you go with this tire specifically?
Yeah, so I mean, I love the look, right? I was looking for an all-terrain tire to give me that balance of my daily driver, but being off-road capable. To be honest, I was kind of, wrestling between these tires and the BF Goodrich KO2s, right? Kind of probably the top, almost two, maybe most popular. But ultimately, I loved how the Ridge Grapplers, the tread really comes more on the side, and that was what I preferred.
Now, why did you go with 33s compared to a 35 or even a smaller like 32, kind of similar to the factory size?
So kind of alluding to the forums, right? I pretty much figured the 33s are the biggest I can get without making any modifications. So that was important for me, right? To really fill that space, not have to then think about modifying the suspension or making other modifications like to the fenders even. So I wanted to keep it simple, but
Now, kind of speaking about modifications, did you have to calibrate or change the speedometer, retune, or anything when you upgraded to the 33-inch tires?
Yes, I did it on my own. Bought those, like Bluetooth OBD2 scanners. The main thing I had to do is just, readjust what the tire size was so that the speedometer could be calibrated. Because of course, as soon as I upgraded, just test driving, checking the speedometer, and then like my phone app, there's a difference. So
did it feel a little bit more sluggish once you added the 33s without recalibrating?
To be honest, I don't remember because I did that immediately, knowing that I was probably going to need to do that. So I already was set up. So
would you say that it's a comfortable drive with the Nitto?
I love these tires, right? They're not loud. They're obviously very capable. I do go off-roading, and I've haven't had any issues. And very smooth, right? So even going down the road, I feel comfortable. Where I live, there's a lot of rocky and like cobblestone type roads, and I tend to just kind of go with it, probably a little faster than most because I feel so comfortable just riding right through.
Again, you have the stock suspension. Why did you stick with this instead of upgrading to even like a leveling kit?
To be honest, it's mainly because I'm just not knowledgeable in the area, A, and B, in my mind, to get into adjusting the suspension, it means a lot of different changes for the Jeep, and I wasn't ready for that. My intention was and is to, I did what I could to the Jeep to make it mine, and then now as I use it both as a daily driver and for the occasional off-roading on the weekends, see what my needs actually would be if I need a modification instead of just getting a lift for lift's sake.
So it sounds like you kind of have an idea maybe of what you would want to upgrade to. Would it be small? Would it be a bigger lift?
The next phase of my Jeep might be upgrading from 33 to 35-inch tires and probably doing at least the minimal lift and open to the idea of maybe even modifying the fenders to help with that.
Now, as far as fitment is concerned, did you have any rubbing issues from wheel lock to wheel lock? Any contacting the fender? Did you have any issues there when upgrading to the larger tire?
No, not in the daily driving sense or even off-roading. I don't feel any rubbing. I don't experience that. The only time I notice anything is if I'm really hauling some weight in the back, then you could feel the Jeep sagging a little bit from the weight, and then over bumps I'll feel a little or hear some rubbing. More from like the bounce, not any wheel or tire articulation.
Now, are you happy with the overall look and appearance of the stance with the 33s, the 17x9s, and the stock suspension?
Very happy.
Now, is there anything that you would do different if you had to go back, start from day one, start from part one? Is there anything that you would change about your setup?
To be honest, I don't think so. I mean, the only thing I feel like is lacking at the moment is a re-gear. That's maybe something I would have accounted for earlier, or to throw in this like first phase of upgrades, right? I mean, ultimately, day to day, it feels fine. If the Jeep is empty and it's just my family and I drive, no problem. It's just when I start adding the weight or getting into the hills, then I feel like, ooh, okay, this needs a little more help with that.
So I just want to give a little recap on your build for the people watching at home. So again, you have a 2014 JK Wrangler Unlimited. You have the 17x9-inch Mammoth 8 steel black wheels with a -6mm offset. You have 285/70 R17 Nitto Ridge Grappler all-terrain tires that are equivalent to a 33x11, and then you have the stock suspension. Thank you so much again. And for more videos just like this, remember to always keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.